Welcome to today's ceremony where we will honor Lieutenant Colonel Frank Horton on the occasion of his promotion to the rank of Colonel in the Oklahoma Air National Guard. Presiding over today's ceremony is Colonel J. Chad Phillips, Commander, 138 Wing. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Pastor Daniel Fleet will now deliver the invocation.
Let's pray. Father, we're grateful for today and the opportunity to be together to both celebrate, commemorate, and involve ourselves in the promotion of Colonel Horton. Lord, we are grateful for his life, the influence you've given to him, and the increased influence you've chosen to give to him. And we pray your blessings in this moment and in future moments as he leads others as both a servant leader and Lord increases his influence in the lives of others. We pray your blessing on him, that you give him wisdom, that you give him strength and the knowledge to lead in the days ahead, to both be a follower and a leader. So Lord, we pray your blessings this day and this moment. In Jesus' name.
In recognition of this important event, we are joined today by many special guests and distinguished visitors. Please hold applause until all introductions are complete. Wife Susanna, sons Donovan and Dominic, mother Dorothy Horton, our distinguished visitors, Brigadier General Raymond A. Siegfried III, Assistant Adjutant General, Air, Oklahoma Air National Guard, Brigadier General Rick Mutchler, Chief of Staff, Oklahoma National Guard, Colonel Robert Cavanaugh, Vice Commander, 138th Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Dennis DiPiazzo, Command Chief, 138th Fighter Wing, Colonel Lance Fry, Commander, 138th Medical Group, Colonel Bradley Rutman, Commander, 138th Operations Group, Colonel Scott Townsend, Director of Staff, Joint Force Headquarters, Colonel Christopher Eason, Staff Judge Advocate, Joint Force Headquarters, Colonel Michael B. Neeson, A58, Director of Plans and Programs. And finally, a special welcome to our current and former Air National Guard commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, members of the wing, co-workers, friends, and family for being present today to share in this special occasion. Now a bit about our honorees. Lieutenant Colonel Frank Horton is the 138th Maintenance Group Commander, 138th Fighter Wing, Tulsa IAP, Oklahoma Air National Guard. As Commander, he is responsible for component, equipment, aircraft, maintenance, and munitions, and maintenance operations support for the 138th Fighter Wing's aircraft. He ensures readiness and combat capability of 550 airmen who maintain 24 assigned world-class F-16 CM fighter aircraft. Lieutenant Colonel Horton entered the Oklahoma Air National Guard in January 1990 as an enlisted member. He was commissioned to the Academy of Military Science in Knoxville, Tennessee in March 1996 as a civil engineer and served as a deputy base civil engineer with 138th Fighter Wing until October 2002. Prior to his current position, he was the Aircraft Maintenance Squadron Commander after having served for 3 years as the Maintenance Squadron Commander. Lieutenant Colonel Horton graduated from Northeastern State University, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with a bachelor's degree in Industrial Engineering Technology Design, and has earned a master's degree in Military Operational Art and Science from Air University. He has extensive combat and deployment experience, including tours at Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan, Bagram Air Base, Afghanistan, Kadena Air Base, Japan, and Nasrat Air Base, Jordan. At this time, Colonel Phillips will share a few comments about Lieutenant Colonel Horton.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let's set some expectations first. So when Dominic, when your dad is getting promoted today, he will not get stripes in his sleeve. But the expectation of you guys, there's no retribution. You just need to kick your dad out of the arms as hard as you can. Yes. Susanna, for you, I heard you're the president of the household, as Dorothy told. So anything goes for you today, and Miss Dorothy, we're honored to have you today, and your moms will do absolutely anything they want to. We're very glad to have you today. You've heard all the accolades from Colonel Horton. He's been a great friend and very knowledgeable on the maintenance side. I want to tell you a quick story about how Horton is really an unsung hero to the 138th Fighter Wing. It may parallel Horton Here's a Who, but today Horton is the unsung hero. If you didn't know this was around the end of October of 2020. Amid COVID protocols, procedures that were constantly changing. And we were literally 10 days away from a UEI showing up. He was feeling not too up to par on a Tuesday. He took a COVID test. It was negative. So he returned to work for the protocols. I had been away to a maintenance group commander conference, and I returned from the airport on a Thursday, stopped by work to check in to see how things were going, because there had been a readiness meeting that day with Colonel Easton to go over some of the game plan with the UEI, with the ACC inspectors, and of course Horton was representing maintenance for me, so I stopped by. As I rounded the corner down there to enter the first floor at 501, there started to be this horrible smell. I couldn't get it out of your nostrils, and I thought, this is what is going on? I don't understand. The further I got up to the second floor and closer to my office, the more putrid it got. There is nobody on the north end. That's all the chiefs in QA, by the way. They had solely walked out. I found two people up there close to my office. One was Master Sergeant Alyssa Blevins, maintaining her post as she normally does in the putrid smell with the mask on and almost in tears from the smell. And by the time I got to Alyssa's desk, I had my mask on, my arm over my nose, going, what is the source of the smell? And Alyssa tells me, we're cleaning out the break room drain. She's been over here and they've cleaned it out, and I think they're done, but it's going to take a while to get rid of the smell. At that point, I look over, and all I see is a smile from Lieutenant Colonel Horton in his office. What's going on? And I look at Horton, and I look at Alyssa, and Alyssa, again, is like distraught. I go, Horton, can you not smell this? No, sir, I cannot. Welcome back, sir. Horton, go home. You have COVID. No, sir, my test is negative. Okay, sir, I'm going home. He takes off home. He takes a COVID test the next day. Just what it was. It was positive. In the readiness meeting, it wasn't just Horton, it was in the readiness meeting. It was pretty much all the wing leadership, group leadership, and squadron leadership. So now we go, what's COVID protocol? All close contacts are affected by this. You have to be in quarantine for 5 days. AACC, guess what just happened to us? We have fragged all leadership staff for us at the 138th Fighter Wing. Do you want to show up to Tulsa Air National Guard base? No, we're not going to show up. he won that battle. Because he's at home. But what you may not know, QT and I still had to take a phone call from an ACC inspector during the UEI time because we had a voice call talking about classified information on readiness. Guess who missed it? Horton. Oh, I'm not done. We thought we were done, but he's not done because we moved the UEI inspection to when? It was in June. So we had this grand plan, right? We got LSRE, we got generation, we got all this planned on, and the cap on the end of it is UEI. And we're motoring through this and get through the LSRE, and guess who gets COVID for the second time? It's Horton. Guess who misses his inspector interview? Horton. Guess who takes care of all those inspection questions? It's QT, Cam, Laura, and myself. He's the unsung hero, so you can thank Horton for moving UEI from November 2020 to June of 2021. But with that being said, if you ever write your OPR again, you can say you single-handedly did that. That's the you vote for his treatment. But we do appreciate all the things that you brought to me. You're truly one of a kind, not just in COVID and 25 years to get COVID. So let me bring you 138 title and we're blessed to have you on the leadership team. And now it's next official.
Lieutenant Colonel Horton, please join Colonel Phillips front and center. Special order. Special order. Special order AB 2935. The President of the United States, acting upon the recommendation of the Secretary of the Air Force, has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and abilities of Lieutenant Colonel Frank D. Horton. In view of the special qualities and his demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Lieutenant Colonel Frank D. Horton is extended federal recognition and promoted to the permanent grade of Colonel, United States Air Force, effective the 30th day of November, 2022, by order of the Secretaries of the Army and Air Force. Signed, Daniel R. Hoganson, General, United States Army, Chief, National Guard Bureau. Please be seated. Susanna and Dorothy, would you please join your husband and son? Now for the reading of the oath of office. Thank you. Before I turn the mic over to him, he told me to take an opportunity, if I wanted to have control of the mic, I'm going. Colonel Horton and I's relationship started off very tumultuous. We were thrust upon a trip that neither one of us had planned for, and neither of us had any of the details. Neither of us had ever done that particular trip before. I was still a senior master sergeant. He was a leader captain at the time. And we were getting ready to go on our first deployment overseas. And, like I say, we were thrust upon that. And anybody that knows Colonel Horton, he had a lot of questions. And I think I paid my dues in offering him all the answers that I could give him. So we did that, then we turned right around, and we both deployed to Afghanistan. Again, in positions we never deployed in, but we made the best of it. The best of the day, when we got done, I thought, that man and I would never be friends. And he one up me because we got home just before Thanksgiving morning, and early Thanksgiving morning, he gives me a call at the house. And told him my favorite hat. He is a good man, true to his word, and I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm proud to have served with him, and I know he'll do well in this new position. Colonel.
So, Peter, last time you were up here, you said it's really dusty and your eyes water some, so just in case, I brought some eye drops. I kind of water my eyes, in case that gets away from me. Well, General Secretary, thank you for coming. General Mushler, Colonels, very nice to meet you. Colonel Mason, I've never heard a title that long before, but congratulations on your new title. There's a whole lot of letters and numbers in that, but thank you for coming back. And you made the right decisions when you made them, and I appreciate that. You strengthened me. So. I'm going to just take a minute and say thank you to a couple of people. And if I don't mention your name, that doesn't mean that you haven't made a difference in my life. Okay? I love everybody in here, especially my airmen. I appreciate everything that you do for me, everything you do for the wing and my country. But I just need to say a few things. I had a friend of mine asked me the other day, he said, so what does it take to make firm? He said, what are the contributing factors for you to be able to get this promotion? And I really already knew the answer to that. I didn't have to think much about it. It's relationships and hard work. Okay, I don't even want to tell you about the P&B stories of trying to finish ACSC while I'm doing an Air War College at the same time in a master program. And at the same time, I work here all day, every day. I go home and I cook. I have to clean the house. I have to wash all the clothes. I have to take care of all of that stuff on my own. It's just a lot of work. Thank you, Susie. I love you for everything that you do. Mom, thank you for your support. Boys, I love you guys. I'll tell you just a few things about relationships, and it really comes down to trust. Okay. Jethro, when you took over the maintenance group, you came in and you said, I'm just going to have to trust and verify. Thank you for teaching me what a leadership position looks like, and you really trust me. I learned a lot in that 3 years. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. Gato, you're the optimist in the room. Not only you're my friend, but you're the guy that will always just say, hey, just calm down. Let the system work. It'll work out. It's fine. And I appreciate that. That's what gets me to the position to be able to stand here and just your guidance. Cooter, you're always the guy with good cheer. And I appreciate that. You make my day. Actually, help my staff upstairs because you taught me to come to work and smile. Regardless of what happened on the way here, or whether my wife made me breakfast or not, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to come to work and smile. And more than likely, it's not. She did. But I was the agreement we made when we got married. She's like, no, I'm not getting up with you. And I'm like, that's okay. So it's always worked out. So. Deuce, thank you for being a friend. And thank you for negotiating from a position of honesty. I appreciate that. What you and I were able to accomplish in 3 years, I honestly believe it changed the direction of this country. And I give you 100% credit for that. Okay? And just appreciate your personal leadership. Now, I will tell you a quick story about Deuce. If a fighter pilot wants to give you a call sign and you haven't screwed up, broken something, did something dumb or dangerous, then you just assume, okay, that guy's my friend. I don't know how you guys really get call signs out, but I don't think I had broken anything at that point. So in Afghanistan, he puts this together all on his own to scrounge up firewood and popsicles and O'Doul's non-alcoholic beer and some Cuban cigars or something, I don't know. He's like, hey, if you don't have a call sign, we got to get you one. And so he came up with that, and I appreciate that. At that point, I knew that, I would just probably be lifelong friends. I appreciate it. Almost chiefly, I suppose, something like that. It was good. To all the chiefs, not only have you built trust with me and what we do, but we've become friends, and I value that. Quentin, Lori, and Cam, your confidence in our airmen brings great calm to the unit, and it allows them to do their job. And I thank you for supporting me in these last couple of months that I've been in the office. I will tell you this. I don't have a family pedigree. I didn't come here with a family pedigree. I'm probably cut more out of a hide of leather than I am a cloth of silk. Okay. My parents had 5 kids. My dad worked 6 days a week, sun up to sunset, went to church on Sunday morning, worked between church Sunday morning and Sunday night, went back to work Sunday night. After church, he finished up the work day, started washing my feet, and did it again the next week. From the time I was born until he passed away. He got a work ethic that he taught me that I just don't know how to give that up. Okay. So my folks know I may not be here at 6:55 in the morning. I'll be here by 7. But the last car that leaves the parking lot will be mine every day. And I do that for you. I do that for my own personal best. I need to serve the Lord while I serve here. And I will give everything I have. That's what my dad taught me. His character was never perfect, but I always knew his decisions came from a moral compass that pointed north. And so I know if he was here today, he'd be very happy. I want to share you 2 quick stories. When I was an airman, the first family day that we had, I was down in CE. And you have to understand, it's back in 1990. Then I told my parents, I said, hey, there's a family day and you're invited to come see the best United States Air Force in the world. I didn't know anything different. I was just told this was the best place to be. You guys have all proved that over the years. And so my mom and dad showed up. And we had the old headquarters building 201. And Lima 2 was the only gate that we had. Other than the other one had the potholes in it. But we used the one that wasn't like the city roads. And my dad and mom show up at the gate. And so security forces, doing what security forces do, they say, hey, are you a VIP, distinguished visitor? And my dad said, absolutely I am. And they're like, well, come on, let's take you to headquarters. So they're in the headquarters office with the wing team. And so we didn't have cell phones and stuff back then. Just a couple hours go by, and I'm like, well, I guess my parents aren't going to make it. Well, along comes my dad with a fancy coffee cup and a big old bag of Pepperidge cookies. And I'm like, man, where have you been? He said, well, I've been over there with the wing team. He said, he knows all about you. And I said, I didn't know who that is. He goes, well, he knows you now. And I'm like, oh, good. This is going to work out just fine. But that was my dad. He thought I was important. And he just taught me so much. The first job I remember getting here as a young airman, where the clinic sits today, used to be an outdoor gun range. And it was outdoor, it had a footing that was about 3 foot wide. I don't know how deep it was, but I know the dirt inside the area, there was about that much concrete exposed, and it looked like a swimming pool inside of it. And so they gave me a jackhammer that weighed 150 pounds, and I was weighed maybe 105. And they said, go jackhammer that footing out until the water drains out. And I didn't know anything different, but to say yes, sir, and grab the jackhammer. And it was not a very comfortable spring day, and it was raining. I had sweated enough in the slicker, I took it off. It was getting close to lunch, and I had been knocking concrete with a jackhammer that was twice my weight for 3 or 4 hours. And Colonel Jack Kelly comes out, my squadron